let me see patients online was less than ideal, but that was okay. I found I counseled the really troubled people better with a little distance. Pain was always hard to see up close. If I teared up online or wanted to smack a client, it was easier to hide. But the office made me feel like a proper therapist, and my client today, Blaine, was an easy case. She had adjustment disorder, which was the general diagnosis that allowed me to get paid by her insurance. Blaine had never adjusted to her in-laws and liked venting about them. I'd suggest ways to answer that didn't involve curse words or the throwing of wine bottles, which was Blaine's fantasy, and she'd nod and agree and come back next month with a new story. Easy peasy, and actually kind of fun to hear the tales. Her real issue was feeling confident enough to contradict her mother-in-law and not backing down, but we were getting there. Maybe I'd swing by the Ghirardelli shop and get some ice cream. Then again, we had ice cream at home if Pop hadn't eaten it all, and I couldn't justify spending $6 on a cone. I walked past an empty storefront. It then jerked to a halt. Turned around and looked. My hands and feet tingled before my brain caught up. Yep, that was a harbinger of doom, all right. To the untrained eye, it looked like a pink leather handbag, adorably retro, but with a sassy blue tassel sexing it up a bit. Nevertheless, I knew what it was. A pink purse of doom. Shit. For a second, I forgot where I was, transported instantly to my childhood when I always felt like an outcast. Like a stupid, unwanted kid. Like I'd done something wrong just by breathing. Genevieve London Designs, coming soon. Accessories, fashion, and home goods for the discerning consumer. My reflection in the glass showed me for what I was. Not a discerning consumer. Not a fashionable woman. Just an ordinary-looking person with her dark blonde hair pinned up in a graceless bun, wearing dark pants and a dark shirt. Both polyester. This morning I thought I looked nice. Crisp. Professional. Right now I look droopy, hot, and scared. This was not how Genevieve would have crafted me. For years, I'd done a bang-up job of forgetting that Genevieve London was my grandmother and had raised me from the age of 8 to 18. It was easy, considering we hadn't spoken for 17 years. Riley would see this, of course. She knew her great-grandmother was that Genevieve London, though they'd never met. Some of her friends had Genevieve London purses and shoes. The arrival of one of her shops in Chicago would not be good news. Riley, being 16, was bound to have strong feelings about this one way or another. Bad feelings, probably, given the black rain cloud she'd been living under for the past few months. Coming soon. At least I'd had this warning. God. Imagine walking past this store's grand opening and seeing the Gorgon after all these years. I could use the drive home today to figure out what to say to Riley, and how to head off any expectations she might have, like the idea that Genevieve might want to see us. Riley's friends hung out on Michigan Avenue all the time, now that they were 16, and someone was bound to see the store and tell her. And Riley was sure to tell them she was Genevieve's great-granddaughter. Would her friends even believe her? Genevieve London was an international brand. Riley and Pop and I, we were just regular folks. I hurried up, walking briskly to my car, sweat streaming down my back. I dressed up today to look the part, but I regretted it now. My left heel was rubbing in the unfamiliar pump. All these years without a Genevieve London boutique in Chicago. Sure, Genevieve stuff was in all the high-end department stores, but a dedicated store? Ugh. I'd been naive enough to imagine she'd stayed out of Chicago because she knew we were here. But no, her empire was expanding still. I didn't want to assume this would bother Riley, and I didn't want to assume that it wouldn't. I didn't want her to think I was upset. I didn't want her to feel rejected, and I didn't want her to get her hopes up, and I didn't want her to sublimate any of those feelings if she had them, and I didn't want her to feel she couldn't tell me about them if she had them, and I didn't want her to feel that she had to tell me about them if she didn't want to. Being a single mother and a therapist.